Welcome back to Better Minecraft, and today we are going to start off by making a mystery worm. You get the mosquito larva here, and then you add it to the capsid, which I didn't know how to, and I don't remember the instructions. It just said put it in it, and here we go. The thing about this was I am trying to summon the void worm. It's the boss fight. That's what I'm going towards right now, if you're wondering. I didn't know how to pick this up. I just hoped I didn't ruin it because I only had one ingredient that I just wasted or spent, I guess would be the word. So this is the achievement here, and we are off to fight our first void worm. Remember I said first one. This is not the first one, or the last one. And this is how it comes up. I did find that flying around at first was nice to be able to dodge, but I will tell you this much. You'll end up just not wanting the dragon or to fly around with a dragon. Maybe wings if you're low on health. But I do recommend that you try to shoot it in the mouth where this happens. You'll start actually basically separating the segments of this worm. It's not that bad considering obviously you don't want to get any of these bosses cornering you anywhere. Like, you don't want to get stuck. That is, like that. They do some pretty big damage, as it were. I also didn't realize that the Endermen will attack these things. I didn't know they had eyeballs. Anyway, this is the end of this fight. Success. So I thought. Then, of course, I shoot my dragon on accident because he decided just to show up. Well, all I can tell you is I didn't get it because apparently you have to swipe the worm with the last hit with a sword. Doesn't say that. So I'm off back to the nether again to pick up a proboscis. That's what I need here from just this mosquito. And once I picked it up, I left. You can get the blood sacks. I'm not even sure what to do with those. English. And then I made another worm and then tossed it in. Now this one I will say I outsmarted. I was even proud of myself for figuring this out. It kept teleporting around, so I just stood up against the obsidian and then waited for it to get stuck because I can't go through it. Can't teleport through it. But this is where I spent most of my time, is right here, where it got stuck, which is very convenient because I just kept on trying to use my sword and that was it. And eventually, I don't think I actually got the second one this time either. Eventually I do dispatch of it though, which is here. See, I finally got the challenge. And then that was it. That's all I really cared about. I don't even know if you can do anything with the drops. And our next game plan is to cheese this wither. First wither of the world. I wasn't too worried because the tungsten armor I'm wearing, that's a full suit, doesn't have to be enchanted, just has to be a full suit, negates the wither effect. So it's decent armor. It's about like diamond if it's enchanted or unenchanted. And once that wither effect's basically gone, it's really not that bad of a fight. See, I didn't even struggle that much with it. You can basically stand underneath it and just keep chopping. But you obviously want to weigh out if you don't have much better armor. I needed that nether star for one thing. I am off to fight the Harbinger. I think part of in the mod pack it says like Harbinger, and another part, like the achievement part, it says Harbinger. So we're gonna keep saying Harbinger because that's easier to say. And I finally found the entrance. You can't dig through this, by the way. You have to find the entrance to get in. Not only did I find it, but I also found a deep dark with these sensors. And knowing me, I just run around and hope for the best. But this place is really cool. If you ever decide to go to one of these and find it, they're amazing. They're amazing. I don't know if you can actually use the Eyes. I just thought about that. I think you can use an eye. The eye of something. Mech, I think is what it's called, to find this place. I don't want you guys to be kind of out of the loop here, because some people just play it and don't know. I believe the eye of mech is what you use to find this. I just used the map. Because, what are we at? Negative 20 something? Yeah, I just used the map and look at what the structure looked like. But it's huge. There's, let's see, one loot room. One really okay loot room. There's not much loot in this space right here, just to let you know. It's just you have your, I guess, your mini boss and your big boss in this room here. And I have more problems than just those two right now. Now, the big boss doesn't get summoned until you actually put the nether star on it, so don't worry about that. You can walk right up to it, do whatever you want. It's still not going to do anything. But this one here, if you look at my map, that's what I pay attention to right now, because I didn't know I couldn't see it in the dark. Just keep watching my map. For whatever reason, I just couldn't get to these skulk sensor things. I'm not even sure that's what is that what they're called, skulk sensors? Yeah, look at the map. He is here. I don't see it. I do not see it. I just see it on the map. And the weird part about this is, I don't know if he just only attacks the players in regards to the other mobs. Granted, they're supposed to be mechanical, but look. Look. He gets sawed. See the damage? And yet he comes running after me. It's such a weird mechanic. Let's just say I cheese this one too. I cheese the crap out of this with these waystones. That him getting stuck right there, he did so much damage. So much damage. So I cheesed it. I kept going back and forth and healing up, doing damage, going back before he could heal back up. I actually don't know the characteristics of the Warden. Does it heal up over a long period of time or short? But this is basically what I kept doing. It's just going in and back out. And eventually I did dispatch of it. Granted, it wasn't time for a Warden fight, but apparently it was. So at least I got that for the challenge for the Warden. But you also need the heart for the, I believe, the portal as well, which is in the Deep Dark, which we're not doing right now. Eventually I'll probably do it, but I don't need to do it right now. So I'm back into this room. This room is cool looking too. If you get a chance to just walk around in it and look at it, it's just cool. Like as a build idea, it's just a really cool and I feel like thought out area. And then this guy, of course I watched a tutorial about the Prowler. Basically you want to get him stuck like this. So it can't just charge you like that with the meat shredder is what that's called. It also has the beam ability as well. Doesn't take much. You just kind of have to be patient with it. With a lot of these guys. And this place, I'm telling you, if you get a chance to walk around, these tall pillars are supposed to be able to help you win the fight. If you can get the Harbinger, stuck next to him with those little switchy things. But this is a very cool room. Very cool. I'd be too lazy to build it now, but it's very cool. Very cool. This thing looks intimidating without it moving. And it is aggressive. It's very aggressive. I popped so many. I was nervous. I still have my tungsten armor on because of the wither effect. Remember, this thing does is basically it's a juiced up wither. And it will give you the wither effect immediately. Which, if you've ever been withered before, it will ruin your life when it comes to Minecraft. So, you just have to have the star. I juiced up so quick for this one. I think the fight itself took me less than a minute to do this. Just FYI, just let you know once I have my armor and stuff. But I stayed with him as a whole. And I've learned if you ever play these bosses, keep track on your health. That's one big thing for you. You can always try running away and have enough health to, like, you know, eat another apple or throw a splash potion. Because I ended up having to use, not in this episode, splash potions instead of one I can drink. So keep in mind of your health, because you can see he's hitting me. He is definitely doing damage. There's fire on the ground. This armor does negate the fire effect as well. But I also took a potion anyway, just so I don't have that that little bit of knockback from that, but he just keeps on coming. I don't like, and I'm going to keep saying it, the health bars look very cool on these guys. See the beam? It's another ability, which is separate. Those little lasers, is that it's hard to see how their health goes down. The Ignis boss is worse than this, but you can see I can't really tell where it stops because it's a really cool bar, but I need to be able to clearly see it. That's just, I think, my only really pet peeve so far that's in this mod pack. It's just that. Nothing crazy. And this is the only thing that gives you the wither ingots, if you're wondering what those are, is the block. Now this block is very, very cool. I'll give you that much. And we have, yeah, see, Harbinger? I don't know. The juiced up wither is what that was. The Ignitium ingot, that's what we're going to call it. And this boss gives you one, but you need to get the full set of Ignitium armor. Obviously, you need 4 pieces, and only one boss drops a lot. And the only other way you can really get it is the Ignis boss. That's not what we're here for right now, though. But keep that in mind. I made the Eye of the Desert to look for that giant temple for the ancient remnant, because that's where you get the necklace with his in the pyramid, and then that's where you fight the ancient remnant boss as well. But this is what I cut out as a whole, looking for this place. If I did not have this eye, I would have gave up by now, because I'm just waiting for the world to upload. Now they did, thankfully, they did update. I was on version 34 of the mod pack, and I think I'm at version 36. And this is one thing I started doing because I got bored waiting. I just killed a croc. My armor is fine. Not a big deal. See, I'm not really sweating it, and it's done. Not a big deal. So, I spent a lot of time waiting. You probably don't want to see this. It had to be at least an hour of this, I want to say. And then, of course, the platypus as well. But eventually, I did find my way to a village and didn't look at my map at all. Looting. And then I actually noticed a giant pyramid in the background. I didn't realize it was even that close. But I'm pretty sure that's it. Yep, that's pretty much it. And then, if you're wondering, those are the little things that will attack you outside as well. I'll tell you right now, I am nervous about this boss. I do not fight this boss in this episode. I really needed to upgrade my armor to netherite. I really wanted it now, so I've been putting it off. So I went to the bastion, which is actually right here. And just remember, right underneath me is where you summon the awful ghast, which is another achievement that I still have yet to do. But this, I didn't add much of this. I spent most of my time just digging straight down. I would have been probably fine, but you know when you get hit with that initial brute hit, it's not fun. So this is basically what I spent my time doing, which was just this. I cut all the fun stuff out, if you will. Eventually I made it to the bottom because I didn't have any luck on other chests, and I was just hoping on everything that it was in this. Right here, I made my little cover. Just looking, because I have fire resist, but of course I don't want to get cornered. They can still hit me, not just fire as a whole. I forgot I can make a frog farm here too. Picked up a nether egg, which was very cool. More gold, which I love. I wouldn't mind making a gold farm now. And then the upgrade, the netherite upgrade, which I just loved. I was so relieved to get. Yeah, I was ready to leave, so I did. I was smart enough to make copies upon copies upon copies of this. And then, once I finished the nether here, the netherite, I actually made the first Ignitium upgrade for my armor. I will probably need a bunch of those eventually, but at least started the process. Because I am really interested in the different armors and the effects they give in this mod pack. Will I use all of them? Probably not. But I made this here. This thing is actually really, really cool. It's basically specifically for the boss drops, if you will. The weapon fusion, which you can also infuse your wings to your chest plate. Which that's actually what I want. But first thing I'm going to do is actually netherite my gear. I can't remember the last time I've even played in a single player world and actually wanted to do this. Like, I have incentive to do this because now I need that little bit of extra. Tools wise, it's kind of hit or miss, of course, because you can put like vein mining, unless you're using in combat, it's not the hugest of deals as well. So once I finish, I will take that nice enchanted chest plate. I also recommend that you make additional armor. Because this, of course, you know how this process works. Diamond, enchant. You can, I always like to, I'm always paranoid that if I don't enchant my diamond before I do netherite, that it's not going to be good. So I try to fully enchant my diamond before I even do the upgrade. But as you can see, I have wings on, but I also still have my chest plate on. It's hard to see, but trust me, it's there. So I took that off immediately, went to the Twilight, and then decided to fight the Hydra because I wanted to test out this tungsten armor again. I will tell you this right now. This is one of the most boring bosses I've fought so far, if not the most boring. It looks cool. It doesn't move around except for in that one spot. It's really boring. Look at this. With fire resist, it does nothing to me. I walk up to it. Does nothing. Which, I guess it's not the worst. Basically, you can't... If its mouth's open in a certain way, I think it's if you're shooting the fireballs, you can shoot it in the mouth. Right there, see? And that was it. Now, when it's doing the fire breathing, you can't shoot it in the mouth. You can bounce back these little balls at it. Doesn't do very much damage at all. But this was one of the most boring boss fights I've ever had. But I came here for the Fury Ingot. And of course, in the achievement too. The blood. The bottle here, and that's how you get it, is from the Hydra. Not that huge of a deal. It's one of the easier bosses. Don't get fooled. I kind of wish I started putting tags in here for you guys to actually see if you actually want to fight these bosses yourself, but this is one of the easier ones. If I'm ranking it up there, that and the Naga are pretty easy as well. But this lag in this space, I'm glad I don't have to spend too much time here. There's still more bosses here. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I did want to make the ingots for the actual armor. Am I going to use it? Probably not, but they look really cool on display. And now, for the fun part, I make a Wither Assault shoulder weapon. Which is cool. There's no durability, it just has cooldown. Which will basically give you Wither effect. As a whole, this cannon is beautiful. It's big. This is one you can't use as like a pickaxe or anything, but we'll get there. But I'm back to the end. And I'm back to the end because I really want to fight another boss. That's right. And it's more specifically, I want their abilities. And I want the gauntlet. And the void core. But we'll get there when we get there in regards to those specific items. But this place, if you ever go to the end, loot this little square place. Because it has a lot of good loot. A lot of good loot. And, see, even ancient debris. Up the stairs. I did find it though. But loot those places. Gold, diamond, shulker boxes, and ancient debris on there. I did find it. It's a ways away. It's a ways away. So, take the eye. These bugs are not so bad. These traps get on my nerves. I just kept running over them because I wasn't paying any attention like usual. Please be armored up. Bring your potions. If you can. Regen. It's nice to have because These fights, you'll end up, excuse me, it being close combat style fights, and you want to be prepared. Sometimes you can get those faraway hits, but you have to be in their face. It's one thing I've learned. If you want to effectively take down most bosses, like big bosses, you have to be close quarters and be able to move. Swiftness, I can't emphasize that enough. Now that I've fought a bunch of these bosses, if you're wondering, this Ender Golem, there's 2 of them you fight. Each one drops 1 Void Core, which you can actually use on 2 other boss weapons with the weapon fusion. If you're wondering, there'll always be 2 of these here and 1 big boss. But you need 2 Void Cores to finish off, I believe, the 2 weapons that you need. So keep that in mind if you choose to use them. And this boss fight was heavy. This guy is difficult. And this is the whole fight. I'm not going to speed it up, but this is the entire fight. Apparently he is harder than he used to be, which is fine by me. But he has the charge effect. His glove here, it does pull you towards him. That's one of his abilities that glove will give you. And then he has that little tornado thing. I'm not really sure what that does. He has that Void Core ability, which you can add from the Void Core that you picked up, 2 of them. Or you can use a Void Core by itself. I recommend you put it on something, not use it by itself. I didn't actually realize that ability there. The Shulker thing, which was really cool. He has a lot of abilities, and he uses them quick. I don't know his cooldown for these, but you can see all the stuff I have. I kind of wish I had more regen. As I'm looking at this, wish I had more regen and swiftness. You can see how slow I'm moving. And that's one thing, as big as they are, they move quickly. And this was a really rough fight. I would say, if I had the choice, like here, I would get the Void, use the fusion thing, and use the Void gun cannon, which eventually we'll get to. But basically, his Void Core ability that lifts those purple things out of the ground, you can shoot those. Or, which is actually my preference, is to add it to the hammer. Because of course you'll have close quarters. Yep, he pretty much got me down pretty well. There's a few other things you can use, like the helm. If you have not got that far, the helm does help because it has the ability to, well, knock back and help with regen. With your, once you get half heart, that's something that you should keep in mind if you're fighting. Sometimes the best armor is one that has better abilities than what you have on here. But swiftness, I think, is one for this fight. Obviously, you want to wear, you see my armor. I have the Ignitium chest plate, but I also have full netherite as a whole. He is kicking my butt. But the hammer with that void ability that brings the purple spikes up, trust me, is probably my favorite boss weapon. Is that one. And this guy, I thought I was accepting fate here because I couldn't get out. But I was close, and again, that boss bar, I can barely see. And he got me down to 1 heart. I was shook. I was so relieved. I just ran home after I hit that waypoint, the waystone, and then just slept. It was a pretty rough fight. It's fun though. These boss fights get to be fun. Once you get in that groove, they get to be really, really fun. I couldn't imagine doing this in a hardcore though. I could not. I haven't had a boss kill me yet, but that's not the point. I could see this being bad, but this is the only one I have left is the Shelterer. That's the only one I have left. And it's not as what you think it is, but this ability for the glove, remember when I said it pulls you forward towards you? Yeah, that's one of the abilities, but you can also use it like a sword as a whole. Like you can put looting on it, soul stealing, sharpness. And then the void assault weapon, this here. That's when you attach a void core to the wither assault shoulder weapon. And this is what you get. This here. It would be cool maybe if you were raids maybe, but I didn't like this gun. So I had to go get more wither ingots. And the only way to get them is I had to find another harbinger. And that's what I end up doing. The only thing that drops them. And you have to use the uncrafting table to actually utilize the ingots, just to let you know. You have to have the uncrafting table to actually get the ingots from the block. I should emphasize that. It's one thing you do need, which is in the Twilight. It's really cool to see these things and kind of how they interact, because they are very cool. This guy, you can see I'm jumping. I don't typically ever do jump attacks, but I end up starting to do them because I don't typically ever use a sword, axe either, you know, with crit damage. I couldn't tell you if they actually get crit damage, to be honest with you, with a sword. I know you can with the axe, and that one's spent too. So I picked it up, and that was it. I went and did something safer, which was building the chef's house. This place was a little different. This right here is actually a variation of a bone block, if you can see it up there. These are bone blocks. That's what this is. You use it on I believe it's a stone cutter. You use this and you get these really cool different styles of blocks. My floor is very bright. Obviously in the sun it will be, but it should be like perfect when it comes to a roof and windows, that sort of thing. But this place had to be up because my goal here is to actually use these guys for food, to where I don't have to, I can utilize the like Farmer's Delight and whatever other food they added within this mod pack instead of me making it. And since my iron farm's there, I can easily just keep trading as food as I get. I do use, and one thing that does help is to try picking food that actually gives you buffs like nourishment, to where you're not hungry for a while, that sort of thing. But it's coming along. Still want it to be brick and mud. I do need some more mud blocks. Not here. Now that I'm thinking about it. I got a lot of building to do. Don't know where those maggots came from, but it's fine by me. I'm going to start adding, and that's one thing I'm going to try to do more and more, is I don't want to over detail, but I want small details I've never used before within a space, to where it gives me an idea to bring more points of interest within that space, if that makes sense. Like this little window here that I'm putting in, I don't typically ever do double or like little snake things, but especially that size. I would have done a small window on the second block, not the first one, like that. But hey, it works just like that. It's kind of that catty corners, a little space you can see as you walk around. Eventually I won't actually need to go inside the buildings, just to let you guys know. But as I'm building it up, because there's something called a trading post that you can actually craft as a curiosity achievement. It's a trading post, and basically you place it close to the building, as far as I know. Don't know the radius. And basically you can trade with every single villager without interacting with them. Isn't that cool? I think it's a trading post. There's another one too, that's for the piglins as well. I've never used that. I don't actually need to use it, but I do have it. That's actually included in this mod pack as well. If I remember, I'll show you the chest of stuff I'm making. There's even a storage bit you can use. I'll probably never use it, to be honest with you. But here they are. They're right in here. Everything's pretty much done. And I'm starting to get, you see that? Regen on that salad. So it's coming along. I'm just going to keep on pushing and pushing. And that egg salad looks really good. Just in general. Does everybody else like egg salad sandwich? What does it say? Egg sandwich? Is it just egg, like a fried egg? I don't know. Something different than bread and beef. Egg sandwich. Because I have finally finished, well, I'm sure I'm going to change it up some, but building this little chef's, or food building, that is. And it's turned out well, considering how quickly I had to put it up, because I spent so much time going through so much of this here, and even in the nether, which I'm still doing. If you can see my inventory, I'm still nethering right now. But I needed to get it up, more specifically so I can kind of get all the villagers moved around. But you can see the interior here. It's still pretty plain. I like it though. I was considering carpet, but you know how weird villagers are. And yes, I've started to actually trade with them for their foods. And then back here, which they can't get to, even though it's blocked off, is a food source as well. So think of them picking their own produce as here. Right there. This little camping thing outside where they can cook. Granted, they can't come out here anyway. And then, of course, I have this. I think I might start doing something different in the front to cover up the gap. But, of course, they can't come out that way as well. And then I started putting in, not here, but kind of how I want this area to turn into. I'm trying to work with villagers, as you can see him doing his thing. I'm starting to fill in with trees around. Small trees. I don't really need huge trees right here in the centers. And I'm trying out to see what makes sense in this space as a whole. I don't want to do too many custom trees for the sake of... if you want to repeat or copy something, I want it to be easier, if that makes sense. And then, of course, here, have this little seat. You can look out into the water. This little space right here, as you can see over behind it. And yes, I'm starting to use my wings now because I don't have to change them off of this here. That little space right here, it makes sense. If I put like crops and stuff, it would have been a little too not backyardy, if that makes sense. So I went with that basic little feel here. But it's starting to come along. It really is for the space I have. If I'm coming through here, and I think it's pretty neat. When I trade with all, let's see, 2, 4, 6 people, these villagers here, if I trade just iron until they stop trading, until they recycle again, it gives me 8 emerald blocks per trade between all 6. 8 blocks. Perfect blocks. Not an extra one, not less. It gives me 8 blocks per trade, which is neat. Obviously, once I get more villagers in to their spaces, I'll be able to get some more, but really don't need these emeralds too much. I do need to see what my iron's doing now, because I do trade pretty well, like quickly for what they actually have. It's only 6 villagers, but they trade very well. And then I'm starting to think about ideas over here as well, but I'm trying to make sure I keep pushing the village section over there, as I'm having way too much fun. I need to empty my inventory. I have plenty of shulkers, but I should have probably extended that. Let's see. Shulker box. Oh. What direction is that going? This way. There. Get rid of this stuff. Pick this up. Yeah, I am still... This is what I'm doing right now, if you're wondering. This right here. Because I really want to get to that boss. Oh, I have another shulker. Interesting. Let's pick up the... No, not the flowers. I don't want that. Don't want those in my life. I could have just used my trash can, but this'll do. For that. But as a whole, it's coming along. I'm trying to kind of keep it balanced to where I explore, which I'm not keeping it balanced well. Just to let you know, I'm really not. I have explored so much stuff. Trying to get through these bosses. Why? Because it's fun. It's kind of the thing about this mod pack, is it makes you want to not just sit and build a base. And my base is coming along, though. Don't get me wrong. It's coming along. But right now, I'm having far too much fun with the bosses, and as you could tell, Almost my first death to a boss. It's coming, I'm sure. Whichever version, I'm trying to make sure it doesn't happen. Don't get me wrong. I don't want it to happen at all. Because you know when you're in the midst of having your best stuff on in battle, and then you just die, and then you get completely deflated. Yeah, that kind of feeling. Yeah, I don't want that. Let me borrow some of that from you. You won't need it anymore. Okay. But it's fun. If you get a chance to play it, then you should play it. It's still unfortunate, the version it's on, where I can't give you guys like replay mod stuff, because it just won't work for me. And I'm sure there's workarounds. I'm just not gonna try going about it because I really want. This is still floating here, by the way. Since that Ray video, this is still sitting there. I don't want to touch it. Would you stop? Okay, let's bring this stuff down. Yeah, this stuff is just pouring in. Fix this. Like that. But it's actually really fun. I'll show you where I'm at the moment with regards to my progression. You know what's interesting is I am actually closer to finishing. Where's my... right there. The nether stuff, bosses, than I am the overworld. Isn't that crazy? Let's pick that up. Bring this with us. I'm actually closer, but I'll show you once we cut myself on the bushes. Let's go down to my storage. This goes up here. Okay. Now, there's this nether, which I still... this is the one I'm looking for, if you're wondering. This one right here. This is one I really need to get to. Is this arena. Because I really want to fight this guy. Let me phrase. I don't want to fight him, but I really want to finish off my Ignitium armor. And he's the only one who drops the 3 pieces at minimum I need to finish my upgrade for my armor. That's why I have to fight that guy. Having said that, these other ones probably won't be so... there's... where is it? This one? This one I still can do. I know where the altar's at. I still have yet to go to the Aether. Ether. We're going to say Ether. And then... oh, the eyes here, which now we can use to find the frosty ones, which I'm excited about, because now we're not limited to me just searching. It's going to take me where I'm supposed to go, which is nice. This thing, obviously we found the pyramid for this and this. I'm afraid of that too. This one probably won't be so bad, but we are closer to finishing this. And then, oh, we said the end. See? I have one more to do in the end. Not sure when I'm going to get to it, but maybe soon enough. Thank you for hanging out, and we'll catch you in the next one.